He stood up, ready to leave. The cafe door swung open, and every head turned. She was late, and she was covered in mud. Not a little dirt, thick, wet mud splashed across her clothes, her hair tangled, her shoes ruined. People stared. Some laughed quietly. As a single dad who barely trusted life anymore, he thought, this is a sign. I should walk away. But then he saw her hands. And in that moment, everything changed. Right finger if you love emotional, life-changing stories about kindness and second chances. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to True Kindness Tales. Your support means the world. Ethan Cole hadn't wanted to be here. Blind dates were not his thing, not after life had taught him how fragile happiness could be. At 34, he was already exhausted in a way that sleep could never fix. His mornings began before sunrise, packing lunches and tying shoelaces for his 6-year-old daughter, Lily. His nights ended with hospital bills, overdue notices, and the quiet ache of loneliness he never admitted out loud. When his sister insisted he try a blind date, he agreed only to stop the lectures. 1 coffee, 30 minutes, and he'd leave. The cafe was warm, glowing with soft lights and the hum of quiet conversations. Ethan checked his phone again. 10 minutes late. He sighed, fingers tightening around his coffee cup. He was already rehearsing his polite exit when the door opened. Mud. That was the first thing he noticed. Mud on her coat, mud streaked along her jeans, dried splashes on her sleeves. Her hair was pulled back, messy and damp, like she'd been caught in a storm, or a disaster. Conversations paused. Someone snickered. The barista frowned. Ethan's heart sank. Embarrassment rushed in, sharp and immediate. I can't do this, he thought. Life was already heavy enough without adding awkward pity dates to the list. He pushed his chair back slightly, preparing to stand. Then she looked up and saw him. Her eyes widened with relief, then panic. She hurried over, hands trembling as she spoke. I'm so sorry. I know I look terrible. I completely understand if you want to leave. That's when he saw her hands. They were scraped, raw, nails broken and caked with dried blood beneath the mud. Not careless hands. Not lazy hands. These were the hands of someone who had been digging, pulling, helping. Hands that told a story before her mouth ever could. Ethan froze. What happened? He asked quietly, sitting back down without realizing it. She hesitated, clearly bracing herself for judgment. On my way here, I saw a car skid off the road near the creek. There was a little boy inside, stuck. His mom was screaming. I didn't think. I just climbed down and helped pull him out. The mud was everywhere. She laughed softly, embarrassed. I tried to clean up, but there wasn't time. I didn't want to stand you up. Something cracked open inside Ethan. He thought of Lily. Small hands. Fragile life. The fear of losing everything in a single moment. It's okay, he said, his voice steadier than he felt. I'm glad you didn't walk away from that kid. Her shoulders relaxed, just a little. I'm Maya. Ethan, he replied. And for the first time in years, he didn't feel like leaving. They talked for hours. The mud didn't matter anymore. The stairs faded. The world narrowed down to 2 tired souls sitting across from each other, sharing coffee and quiet truths. Maya told him she worked as a community outreach volunteer, the kind of job that paid little but demanded everything. She'd grown up watching her parents help strangers without expecting thanks, and somehow that became her language of love. Ethan listened, nodding, feeling something unfamiliar bloom in his chest, hope. When it was his turn, he spoke about Lily. About late nights holding her. Through fevers. About learning to braid hair from YouTube videos. About the guilt of sometimes feeling like he wasn't enough. Maya didn't interrupt. She didn't offer empty comfort. She just listened, eyes soft, hands wrapped around her mug, those same hands that had saved a child hours earlier. You're doing more than enough, she said finally. The fact that you worry proves it. No one had said that to him before. When they left the cafe, the sky had darkened. Rain threatened again. Maya glanced down at her muddy clothes and laughed. I promise, I clean up better on second dates. Ethan smiled, a real one. I don't think perfection is that important. A week later, Lily met Maya. Ethan watched closely, protective instincts on high alert. But Maya knelt to Lily's level without hesitation, ignoring the grass staining her knees again. She listened to Lily's endless stories, admired her drawings, and gently helped her when she tripped. Ethan noticed the way Maya's hands guided Lily, careful, patient, safe. Over time, Maya became part of their rhythm. School pickups, burnt pancakes, Quiet evenings where laughter replaced silence. Ethan found himself healing without realizing it. One night, Maya admitted something she'd never told anyone. I used to think kindness was invisible. That it didn't change anything. Ethan squeezed her hand. It saved me from walking away. Tears filled her eyes, not from sadness, but from being seen. Life didn't suddenly become easy. Bills still came. Days were still long. But now, there was warmth where emptiness used to live. Months later, Ethan stood at the same cafe, heart racing. Maya arrived. On time, clean, smiling. But to him, she'd never been more beautiful than that first day, covered in mud, carrying compassion like armor. I've been thinking, Ethan said nervously, about how close I came to leaving that day. Maya smiled softly. And how close I came to not showing up. He reached into his pocket, pulling out a small, simple ring. Lily stood behind him, grinning, holding a crayon-drawn sign that read, "Will you stay with us forever?" Maya covered her mouth, tears spilling freely. Yes, she whispered. 1,000 times, yes. Because kindness doesn't always look pretty. Sometimes it looks like mud. Sometimes it shows up late. Sometimes it arrives scraped and tired. But when you choose not to walk away, it can change everything. Right finger if this story touched your heart. Please like the video, subscribe to True Kindness Tales, and share it with someone who believes in second chances. Your support helps us keep spreading stories that matter. True Kindness Tales, where compassion writes the ending.